This mind map looks very practical, like actual field work. Market approach, data collection, comparables, adjustments. This feels like real valuation execution. But I want to understand deeply, what is the core idea behind this market approach?
Very good observation. Market approach is the most intuitive method. It is based on one simple principle, prudent buyer premise.
Yes, I see that. Buyer will not pay more than similar substitute. Can you explain that practically?
Yes, a rational buyer will always compare options. If similar property is available at lower price, buyer will not pay higher for your subject property. So value is derived from comparable sales.
So this is like market-driven valuation?
Exactly. It reflects actual behavior of buyers and sellers.
Now next, data collection. It says recent arm's length sales. Why specifically arm's length?
Because arm's length transactions are unbiased. No relationship, no compulsion. That gives true market price.
And comparables should be similar in type, location, size, age.
Correct. The closer the comparables, the more reliable the valuation. You must prepare a checklist to ensure similarity.
So data quality is very critical here?
Yes, this approach is only as strong as your data.
Now this part, comparable selection and reconciliation. How do we select best comparables?
You should prioritize recent transactions, minimum differences, reliable sources. Not all data is equally useful.
And then analyze adjusted prices?
Yes, raw prices are not enough. You adjust them and then give more weight to most similar and reliable comparables.
So reconciliation means final judgment?
Exactly. After analysis, you conclude a value range and then final value.
Now adjustment process. This seems very detailed.
Yes, this is the most critical part. You adjust sale price of comparables to make them equivalent to subject property.
On what factors?
Multiple factors. Property rights, freehold versus leasehold. Financing terms, cash versus favorable credit. Conditions of sale, distress, related party. Location, micro-market connectivity. Physical characteristics, size, age, condition. Economic characteristics, income potential. Market conditions, time difference.
So adjustments remove differences?
Yes, they normalize comparables to match subject property.
But this seems subjective. How do we ensure accuracy?
Good question. Adjustment requires market knowledge, experience, logical reasoning. This is where valuer skill plays major role.
Now strengths and weaknesses. It says simple and reliable.
Yes, strengths reflects real market behavior, easy to understand, reliable when active market exists.
And weaknesses?
Difficult for unique properties, subjectivity in adjustments, less reliable in inactive markets, requires strong data availability.
So if market data is weak, this approach becomes weak.
Exactly. Market approach depends heavily on data quality.
I also see due diligence required. What does that involve?
You must verify transaction authenticity, property details, legal status, data accuracy. Without due diligence, valuation can be misleading.
And common elements of comparison? These are standard factors?
Yes, these ensure uniform comparison. Property rights, location, physical features, economic factors, market conditions.
So this creates a structured comparison framework?
Correct. It avoids random or inconsistent comparison.
So overall, market approach is about comparing, adjusting, and concluding based on real transactions.
Exactly. It is the closest method to actual market reality, but only when applied carefully.
Now I understand. This is not just collecting data, it is interpreting market behavior.
Yes, a good valuer does not just see prices, but understands the story behind those prices.